Nearly every major movement in all of history was initiated and driven by young men, both for good and for bad. The growth of Christianity entirely due to young men. And the same can be said about communism, entirely due to young men. It's not a question of if young men will determine the trajectory of our future. It's the question of what direction that will be. Over the last few weeks, I have seen a shift in the attitudes of young men unlike anything I've ever seen before. It is clear that we want to step up, to change the course of history. But it's also critical that we understand the attacks being used against us. Because if we don't understand that, we will collapse and the future will fall due to us. It's not really up for debate to say that the most important demographic to influence is young men. Because if you can shape what they believe, the impact that will have on the rest of history is massive. The biggest reason for this is our capacity for conviction. Unlike previous generations who will get set in their ways, when we see something that is wrong, we will do something about it. And obviously this can do a massive amount of good, but it can also do a massive amount of bad. I mean, for example, look at Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to go into whether or not it was him, but it's clear that he was influenced by a radical left ideology. This is the ideology that anybody who disagrees with you is hateful and a bigot and is deserving of violence against them. It's not just him. Millions upon millions of leftists who call themselves men, I don't even know what pronoun they're using, but they become radicalized by this. They're convicted by it, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to fight for it. Thomas Crooks is another prime example of it, and so many catastrophes that have happened in America over the last few years have been by young men who were radicalized. They were convicted and they did something about it. But at the same time, what makes men so dangerous, why there's a strategy being used against you that wants to keep you from standing up and making a positive impact, is because if you are convicted about the right thing, the influence you will have is unlike anybody else. A prime example of this is Charlie Kirk, a man who was convicted, but for the right reasons, and did everything he could, speaking out for the unborn, standing firm in what was right, facing off against evil. And what happened because of that? He was silenced, because you are dangerous if you are convicted for good. Because strong good men are so dangerous to the enemy, he is going to do anything in his power to stop you from living out your full potential in that way. And the first way he does this is what I spoke of: radicalization. This is what's happening to so many of the men and the they-thems on the left who believe this insane ideology, but it's also happening on the right too. People will just get into extremist ideas and hate anybody who disagrees with them. And when you don't come first with love like Charlie Kirk did, you will see the other side as less than human, and only more violence will come out of it. Nothing good can happen. Satan wins regardless of your left or right if all you have is hate. But the second way he does this, the way that is destroying most men, likely you watching this video, is pacification. Satan knows he doesn't have to destroy you if he can distract you. He will lob so much cheap dopamine at you, whether it's processed food, scrolling, or pornography. Porn is the biggest one of this. Why is our culture normalizing this in so many different areas? It celebrates women wearing as little clothing as possible, saying it's empowering, and putting all of this crazy stuff out there on the internet. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the stuff I see on my Instagram Explore page without even looking, or the ads, it is all targeted towards me because it's wanting to war on my sexuality. A man who cannot control himself is not a threat to the enemy. If he can distract you with all these cheap forms of dopamine, he can hold you back from achieving your true purpose and standing firm in what you believe in. Another way Satan and the people in this world influenced by him destroy men is through castration. If we look at a graph of testosterone over the last 40 years, we will just see a straight plummet. I mean, what is going on? A 65-year-old man 40 to 50 years ago would have the same testosterone as the average 20-year-old man now. That is just mind-blowing and should be extremely concerning to you. Our testosterone, our masculine essence, what God created for us to be strong, to lead, serve, and protect, is being destroyed, and without it, we lose the foundation of our lives. It's no secret that men with higher testosterone are far less likely to conform to the beliefs of others. Studies prove this. If you have high test, you are going to stand firm in what you believe in. So maybe it makes sense why Satan wants to destroy it. The less test you have, the more likely you're just going to want to fit in, sit down, and shut up like a good little boy. This is why it's so important to protect your testosterone, and if it's low right now, take those steps now. Get more sleep, eat better foods, and work out heavy. And you'll notice the difference within a few weeks. And the final way Satan does this is through isolation. We live in the most connected society in human history, yet more men are alone than ever before. Why is this? Because we've got buddies, but we don't have brothers. We've got friends we can watch a football game with, but not a man who is going to sit there, get real with you, and help you grow. And if you don't have real guys like this around you, it's no wonder you're going to go crazy. We can see what happens to these guys who go on the subreddits because they're alone. They get involved with crazy people. They get radicalized, and next thing you know, they're carrying out some insanity that's destroying our society. But since you've watched this video this long, you're likely not on that side, but I'm willing to bet that you're likely not having enough godly community in your life. And if you don't have this, brother, you need to find it. I cannot say this enough. We have to understand that Satan is going to be throwing these darts at us constantly. He's constantly warring with you, trying to destroy you. And if you aren't aware, you will lose. As young men, we have 3 paths to choose from. I made a full video breaking this down, but in summary, what we have to understand is that the first path is the one of the weak man, pacified, soft, victim mentality guy. But the second is the hollow man. Now, up to this point, maybe based on what I've been telling you, you may think that this is an okay route. This is the hustle culture, sex, money, women, all of these different things that the world tells you will satisfy you as a man, but it won't. Andrew Tate and so many guys in the manosphere preach this, and this is also a path to destruction. And I want to warn you, brother, do not fall down this path. You will cause so much destruction to others and yourself without even realizing it. But the third path, the narrow path, is the path of the refined man, the man of God. Jesus Christ is the only solution for young men. And until we recognize that, we will continue to fall down the path that previous generations have gone. What made people like Charlie Kirk so amazing, and likely one of the reasons you're watching this video because you're fired up, isn't just because he said great things or he led a life of great courage or the fact that he had so much conviction, which you likely had. It's what he had conviction in. Charlie lived this book. He believed every word and it was true, and he founded his entire life upon it. And until you do that, you will just continue to be searching for the answers and you will continue to fail. But when you live by this book, you will find fulfillment. It is not easy. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like it is. But over time, the more you deny yourself and the more you pursue Christ, the more fulfilled you will be and the more of a difference you will make. Look, I get you want to make a difference. Of course, we all do right now in these crazy times. But your ideas aren't enough. What are you basing your truth in? If you believe this book, you will have a foundation for a life of impact. If we as men of God stood together, believing this truth unapologetically, standing firm against the evil in this world, the same way Charlie did, only then can we make an impact. Young men are so dangerous, not because they're stronger, they have higher testosterone, or they're younger. It's because if they understood that this was the way, the truth, and the life, the way Jesus Christ said, they would be unstoppable. A generation of young men standing firm in this truth. Satan cannot stand against that. So I challenge you, join this revolution. Charlie Kirk was the martyr, but because of that, he sparked a revival in our generation, and I want you to be a part of it along with me. But of course, brother, as I said before, you cannot do this alone. You may read this book and you may realize that it is the truth and you want to live that way, but you can't do that alone. You need men of God around you to help you fight against the devil. Because we are at war. And as 1 Peter says, the devil is like a roaring lion looking for someone to be devoured. And who does the lion devour first? The one who is alone. You cannot fight alone, brother. I want to help you, brother, so I'm going to mention this opportunity to you, probably for the last time in a little while. I'm opening up 5 spots for my Mighty Men community. This is a brotherhood of men of God who are going to uplift each other, convict each other, and compete with each other to help us make the biggest impact, start a revival. If you want to be a part of that, if you want some real godly accountability in your life, I want you to go to my Instagram, @NateFagan, and DM me the words Mighty Men. I would love to speak with you and see how you can fit in this community. Brothers, stand firm in this truth. Stand up against evil, but also stand together. Let's spark a revival.